The American Car Salesman laughs in the face of affirmative action. He is one of the few workers who is paid exactly what he or she is worth. While the average person views an hourly wage as security, he disdains it as an unnecessary limit on his ability to produce. He hears negative responses every day, but never learned the meaning of defeat. He believes free enterprise was created with him in mind.
Autoweb. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Autoweb.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is L.A. Williams, and Sean V. Bradley is on vacation right now, but it's all good because I got a super duper automotive professional, man. I'm telling you, this guy is somebody who you want to get to know. Listen, he's an OG, right? That's what I tell him. He's my OG of the daggum automotive industry. I've been doing this thing for years and years and years, running dealerships, selling cars. I mean, he's got his own company. So let me introduce to the Millionaire Car Salesman. I know he's in the Facebook group, but man, to the podcast listeners, Mr. Russel Hill. What's going on, Russ?
Oh, I'm living the dream, LA, living the dream, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. So, man, I'm pumped up, fired up, super excited to have you on. You and I have been kicking it in our early morning clubhouse rooms, right?
We have.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun, man. Listening to all types of books. He got us on the 4 agreements and everything like that. So we're on that. But, you know, Sean's in the room. So, man, I'm telling y'all, if you ever just, get up early in the morning, man, 7 o'clock Eastern time. And the crazy thing is my man Russ is in Central time. He's in daggum. And so he still gets up, right?
That's right.
And even though he's in that Central time, I ain't going to talk about the team that he like and all that. We have those debates every single morning, but it's okay though. So, man, but no, this is pretty exciting stuff. So break it down for me. First of all, tell us what kind of made you want to be connected with us in that early morning clubhouse room. Let's talk about that from you, because it's morning motivation, inspiration, and conversation with a real multimillionaire. Then we're going to get into this automotive stuff.
You know, it's as busy as I am. What I found is that you make time for things that are important for you. And I didn't even really know anything about Clubhouse prior to 6 months ago. And then there's a gentleman that his name is Damon Lester. Okay. Mm-hmm. Damon Lester.
Been on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. He sent me an invite, and he's president of the National Minority Dealer Association, something like that. Anyway, plus he's got his own store. But he invited me on to share some thoughts about fixed operations on a on a clubhouse that he was doing, and that's how I became part of Clubhouse. Then I found you guys, and I'm there, dedicated every single morning. The stuff that you and Sean that Sean's going over right now, it's phenomenal. Cutting edge stuff. And I implore everybody to be a part of it.
100%, man. Big time. So, man, I already know that your story is awesome and it's still unfolding, right? I get that. But break it down to the people. How did your whole thing begin? Like before the automotive industry, any of that different type of stuff? Tell us like what even got you to that point, because nobody ever says, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm gonna grow up and sell cars." I'm being the automotive industry.
Well, I tell you, it started in 1968, LA, when Hot Wheels first came on the scene. Yeah, absolutely. I got my first Hot Wheels set, and that sent a trajectory I didn't even know that I was going to be on for the rest of my life. And I did. I have a similar story that's like Sean's. But in 1985, I started selling cars, and I've been worked my way up through the ranks, ended up running stores before I left the retail space in 2000. Went to work for back then, it wasn't even a CRM company, it was a call center. But about 6 months later, we started developing the CRM side of it. It's called Car Research. You ever heard of Car Research?
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was a partner in that company for 11 years. And then sold my shares of stock and walked away and bought into an existing technology company for another 9.5 years and 2 years. And then I ended up doing the same thing, selling my shares, walking away from that. And then I founded this company with another gentleman named Rick Eckert called FixedOPS Marketing. And now we're in the digital space on dealerships' websites with regarding service, parts, and accessories. It's been a phenomenal journey.
Wow, that's crazy. So that was the fast forwarded version. So you got to break it down to us. Back in 1984, let's just say, I don't know, what made you even want to get into the automotive industry? Like what, because I heard you say the Hot Wheels thing, right? That was, as a kid, but what opened the door for you? Can you break it down for us?
I've always been really fascinated with cars. And I was in a conversation with a friend of mine and said, you know what, Russell, you should be selling cars. You're just a natural at building relationships. And he thought it would be a great venue. So he introduced me to a gentleman. His name is Mike Biggers at Tyson Buick in beginning 1985 in Fort Worth, Texas. And I've been involved ever since. It's been a phenomenal ride. There was a little shaky ground there. After about 3 months, I'm selling and really enjoying it. And he was all about process and road to the sale. And he taught me some very valuable lessons, some of which, we even talked about this morning, the road to the sale. There's a blueprint for success and in selling cars. And if you deviate from that, LA, it costs you gross, repeat, referral, CSI, and SSI. It's just there's a right way to sell cars and there's a wrong way to sell cars. And he taught me those very valuable lessons.
Wow, that is deep right there. You already dropping bombs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Brad Lee, right? The Dropping Bombs podcast. No, seriously, you giving them that money when it comes to being successful, right? You should absolutely follow a process because there's a certain way to do this. So, all right. So you said about 3 months into it. So what did the numbers look like? Just break it down to us. I mean, how many cars did you sell? Just kind of break that all down to us.
Okay, so back then, I would say the numbers are still the same today. I guess you'd say I was a little bit above average. I think I was 12 to 15 cars. I think the average is still 10 the first 3 months.
9.6.
And then I flatlined after that. I couldn't get things going. And back then, you didn't ever drive the car off, let the customer drive the car off the lot. And you always had to turn you couldn't do that. So he taught me this thing called a 6-point walk around, right? In addition to the 8 steps road to the sale. And so he said, he took me under his wing. He said, his name is Mike Biggers again. He said, Russell, show me what you're doing. Let's start from the beginning. Let's go all the way through it because something's happened. And so I start off with under the hood and I do this, 6-point walk around. And the way it was set up was after I walked out, feature advantage benefit the outside of the car, then I'd open up the driver's door, start the engine, and I'd always leave the door open. But before I walked over to the other side, I opened the passenger door and let the customer sit in the passenger side. Then I walked around and he would mirror what I did or she or they. And I would go over feature advantage benefits on the inside. And then I'd say, hey, well, would you like to go for a test drive? And that's where I dropped the ball. I didn't realize this was a pivotal time in my selling career. I didn't understand what was going on. He said, Russell, here's what we're going to do. Don't ask them if they'd like to. Shut the door and say, come on, let's go for a quick ride around the block. And if they say, no, because they got brain surgery or they got to get back to work or they got to go to lunch or whatever. No, come on, you want to drive and shut. And I would shut my door. And when I did that, they would shut their door. And that changed my whole life.
That is fire right there, man. Just again, taking no off the table, basically, is what I heard you say, So that is huge. So many people always ask people, would you like to take a test drive? Would you like to come? Would you like to set an appointment for next week? Would you like to, and that's not necessarily the way that you want to do it. I'm not saying you can't ever ask that question.
No,
it's just not a question designed to get you a yes, right? You got to kind of.
Yeah, because LA, they're emotionally involved in people buy on emotion, right? So they got to see, touch, feel, smell, and taste that thing. And the whole apex or the whole point is you need to get them in that car, smelling it, and then pulling over, finishing things up, and let them drive it, around the block and then back to the dealership. We had a particular route we went on, which I guess most people do, and that changed my life. And I decided instead of being on the fence, maybe this is not for me, that this is exactly for me. And so off I was running.
That is beautiful stuff. So when you say that, I'm sure you probably started making a little bit of money or something like that,
I
right?
did.
What financially, what did that do for you compared to before you were selling cars?
Well, it was pretty substantial. And I learned some very valuable lessons with that too. I kept making more and more and more money, and kept learning more and moving up, in different positions. But it seemed that the more I made, the more money I spent, and I always seemed to spend to the level of my income. And I really didn't understand for those lean months, which we sometimes have in the car business, that you need to learn how to make your money work for you instead of always working for it. So I was always, it was never enough. And then I realized some very valuable lessons as I continue to move through management, et cetera, that it's really never about how much money you make. It's how much you keep, LA.
Man, you speaking my language because that's what I teach, personal finance and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
So, so that's good stuff. All right. So can you break it down to us? Because there are a lot of people who want to do exactly what you did, right? And listen, I don't care if it's, years and years later, right? You talk about some, the 1985, right? 86, there's still a road to the sale today. There are still some success principles. So can you break down, like, what are some of the keys to success and making money in the automotive industry? What are some stuff that you have to do versus, some stuff that maybe people shouldn't do? Break it down.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of lingo. I won't go into all of it here, but there's some, you have to suit up and you have to show up, and you have to listen. When you walk into a dealership, they provide you with everything. You got an office, you got inventory, you got training, you got paperwork, you got ongoing support with finance and used cars and you got everything that you need to actually operate your own business inside of that dealership. You have the latitude to go as far as you want to go, but there's a way to do it. You can't just up people and say, "Hey, how you doing today?" or "What brought you in?" No, there is a methodology to following the road, the blueprint for success. And I'm telling you, anybody that follows that blueprint for success and is good at building relationships will inherently be successful, whatever that looks like for them. But once again, if you took shortcuts, and I've had moments like that in my life, and I see it all the time today because I'm in and out of dealerships on a regular basis. It's still the same. People show up. They're not serious. So-and-so is lucky. No. You reap what you sow. Okay. It's all math. There's no magic. There's no coincidence. There's no luck. If you show up and you're serious, you'll make some serious money, but you have to follow the process. You have to follow the blueprints, just like they do when they're building a house, etc. If you don't, it'll be disastrous.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm feeling this one. All right, cool. So that's what a salesperson has to do. So how does that differ? I heard you say you moved up, which I'm assuming you got into management and stuff like that. So how does that work? What's the difference? Okay, if I'm a salesperson, how do I make money versus as a manager, how do I increase income?
Well, as a manager, you take what you have. Now, I have some thoughts on this. So I was not a 40 or 50 month cars. I didn't sell 30 or 40 or 50 cars a month. I didn't do that, but I was above average, and I was always a big picture thinker. And those make really good managers in a lot of cases. I had a lot of downfalls with taking somebody that wanted to get into management when I was in management running stores that would sell 30, 40 cars a month, and they want to be a manager, and they failed dismally. They made less money than they did selling cars, but they didn't understand. They tend to be really driven, type ADHD type A personalities, but it's all about them, me, myself, and making as much as they possibly can. They don't have the mentality to think big picture. Everybody is a team, right? We're together. Everyone achieves more. They're just thinking about them in their own little world and selling cars. And sometimes they don't make the best managers. Sometimes. So I was really good at management. I was good at selling cars. I was even a better manager and leader than I was actually selling cars, because I was probably a 15 to 17 car a month person. That was my average. Yeah.
Right. I got you. Now I feel you. So, and this is all good stuff because you mentioned some things earlier. You talked about features, advantage, benefits. Is that what I heard you say?
That's correct.
Okay. So there are some people who don't even know what that is. I mean, it's kind of like foreign to them. So can you break that down for us? What does that mean?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Attention auto dealers, you need an opportunity to do business. AutoWeb is one of the largest suppliers of high quality leads, high quality buyers. At a 10% closing ratio, you will be at less than $190 per car sold. Don't just settle for what you get. AutoWeb can fully customize your results through targeted markets and or zip codes, and as a partner, you will get premium placement within search results. Who better to do that than literally the people that invented automotive internet sales? If you want to sell more cars more often and more profitably, then you need AutoWeb.
So for example, some of the process I would go through, I would ask these leading questions when somebody was coming in. I'd welcome them into the dealership and are you what brought you in today, or welcome to ABC Nissan, whatever the case may be. Have you dealt with anybody here before? And I'd start these probing questions. Is this for you? Or is this for somebody else? Is this for business? Is this for pleasure? Are you interested in lighter colors or darker colors? Depending on how it went and how the customer responded, is safety important to them or is it performance important? And I'd get them talking. And it's amazing when you get a customer talking. If you think about it, people really do enjoy talking about themselves. They just want somebody to lead them there. They'll tell you everything. They'll tell you everything that you need to help them, experience the dream car that they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And it's really important. It's really important to do that, even with a silent walk around. But pointing out the feature, the advantages of that feature, and the benefits long term from those features and those advantages. So it's very important to talk about feature, advantage, benefit. Don't you agree?
Look, see, that's a close right there. I absolutely do, man. 100%. Right? And see, people don't really talk that way anymore. Again, I think that there are little small things that we can do to teach our people how to talk. I find it, man, in the automotive industry, even still now, man, I think there's a lot of challenges. So what were some of your best practices? I mean, as a manager, right, your goal is to get your salespeople to sell as much as they possibly can. What were some of your best practices to allow them to kind of shine?
Okay. One of my best practices was I made it a point to get to know my people and find out what their why was. Okay. I think that when I would hire people or we would hire people, it wasn't necessarily just all about the talent. I wanted to know their why. The what and how can be taught to somebody. I wanted to know what they hoped to get out of this, what they planned on doing with the money. I wanted to find out, because everybody's got a different why, right? The why builds a tremendous, if they got a big enough why, it builds tremendous passion and motivation, right? That gets them into action. And that action, that level of action from the enthusiasm and motivation, LA, produces results. But here's what I find. 5 or 6 months down the road, they take their eye off the why. And they're into the what and the how, and their level of motivation, enthusiasm wanes. And as a result, the action isn't what it once was, and then the results are not there. So my job, or what I wanted to do, is I wanted to find out what their why and keep that why alive. And they really appreciated that from a managerial standpoint, because the genuine care and concern that I wanted to help them to achieve whatever it is and direct them to the areas and how to achieve what they wanted to achieve. And it was all math, the average gross, the average car salesman, et cetera, training, et cetera, training.
Yeah, that is deep right there, man, because you're absolutely right. People get off process. They start, doing shortcuts, and they start really not paying attention. They are really not killing it the way they may have been in the beginning. And like you said, what's happened is they got their eye off the ball. They took their eye off the prize, the why of why they really were doing the things that they ought to have done. That way now when they stop doing, it's like, hey, I thought you said you wanted to You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly. There's this one skill that I learned that I thought it was really important. Just like you and I, when we walk into any kind of store, a sales associate comes up and introduces themselves. Most of the time they don't even do that. They say, "Can I help you?" And then we always give them a conditioned response. No, I'm just looking. Thank you very much. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when customers, they're in our house, right? When they show up on the lot and they're nervous and there's anxiety, and our job is to help them overcome that and develop a quick, connection or relationship with them. Because if you ask them what they're there for today, they're going to, oh, we're just looking. And, I say, that's fine. Well, let me show you. No. We're just looking. I said, okay, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'd shake my hand. My name is so-and-so and your name is so-and is what? And they would tell me. And I said, here's my business card. Now you see right up there, there's a porch right up there in the front doors. I'm going to be standing right there. Okay. Because there's a lot to look at out here. And I understand. We'll just call this a fact-finding, gathering information visit. I get it. But genuinely, I'm really here to help. So if you need anything, just look over your shoulder and I'll come down and be more than happy to guide and direct you to whatever you're looking for. And sure enough, literally within 45 seconds, when they start walking, they don't know what the hell they're walking to or looking at. They'll look over their shoulder and I would just automatically, I'd smile and I'd start running down those steps, and they go, no, they hold their hand up. No, we're just looking, just look. And then inevitably about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, they would do it again. This time they just motion and wave their hand. Come on over here. And then, I'd start my whole process, and I taught my salespeople to do the same thing. Meet the customer where they're at.
Yeah, that is beautiful right there, man. And you know what? I heard you loud and clear when you talked about the nervousness that people feel when they come to the dealership. And that's the piece that I think most people don't get, right? And we talk about even nowadays, the internet sale is basically a phone sale. And so when people are on the internet, they're still nervous, right?
Yes.
When they're on the phone with you, they're nervous. And so that's why they treat us, they might, have a certain type of attitude. But one of the things that I've learned, I can break this down, is that's why video communication is everything, right? And I know you didn't have that back in the 80s and stuff, but man, if we shoot a video of the dealership, hey, Mr. Customer, you're going to park right here, right? Then you're going to come in these doors. You're going to meet such and such. I'm going to be here. When they get to see it ahead of time, now when they get there, it's like they've already been there. It's like their second or third time, depending on how many times they watch the video, right?
That's powerful.
So now it kind of really puts them in a good position. They're not as nervous. It feels kind of like deja vu.
Right, because you're setting up proper expectations. Yes, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. All right, so let's kind of talk about some of this, because I mentioned some of the mistakes that people make. What do you feel are the most common mistakes that people make in the automotive industry?
Well, the biggest and most profound one is they deviate from the road to the sale. They think that they don't need to follow those steps. So let's just say, like, you're gonna go from the first floor to the second floor in your home, and there's a series of about 15 or 20 steps that you have to take. So if you go from the meet and greet to the demo, and you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You're costing yourself and the dealership, like I said, gross, repeat, referral, CSI, and SSI. It's all about value, because the more value that a salesperson builds, the less objection there is to price. Right? You can't sell price; you can only sell value.
Absolutely. So what I hear you saying is that the most successful people, they have a habit of following the process. Is that accurate?
That's correct. The road. Now, it could be 6, 8, 10, 12 steps, but they're primarily all the same. There's an ebb and flow to it, and it makes sense if you analyze each and every step and exactly what it means in that process, and you will sell more cars and have happier customers and make more gross if you follow those steps.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, man, because you got a lot of wisdom, man. Where do you get this information from? Are there any like books and things like that you would recommend for people to read to kind of develop and to get as sharp as you are?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many different seminars and so many different books. As a matter of fact, you mentioned at the beginning in Clubhouse with Sean going through the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal by Stephen Covey. I mean, it's phenomenal. You just as we're talking about in the morning clubhouse, you can't go from step 1 to step 6 of the 7 habits of highly effective people. You can't do it. So books and seminars, there's some books that come to mind, Dale Carnegie Carnegie, right? How to Win Friends and Influence People. See, here's something. Okay. So right now, LA, I'm a sum total. I believe these are my thoughts. Take them with a grain of salt, but I'm a sum total of everything I've ever seen, heard, and read and done up until this moment. So we know the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So the only way to affect change, if you are a sum total of everything that's happened up until this point in time, you have to input new information in order to get new information out. So I can predict someone's behavior and what's going to happen in their life the next 30 days based upon the last 30 days. I can almost predict it. And if I was a gambling man, which I'm not, I would probably make a pile of money, except for three things. Today, what am I reading? What am I listening to? And who am I associating with? Those are the only things that will change your trajectory tomorrow. But it starts today. The present is what it's called for a particular reason. So if you're hanging around people, so it's amazing that 95% of the people associate with the same people like them, and they wonder why they don't have any more. Because they're not stretching, they're not feeding their mind. The only way that you could do something different is you have to read, listen, or associate with people that have something that you want, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always say, if you don't want their life, don't take their
That's
advice,
right.
man. But if you do, you want to make sure you connect with those people. And so, yeah, we talk about it all the time. Even we read the book, Chop Wood, Carry Water. They talked about the 6 things you can do to encourage your heart. It definitely incorporated what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, right? Who you surround yourself with, how you talk to yourself, and what you visualize, right? So these are the things. Go ahead, talk to us.
Exactly. I was going to say, when my mentor suggested how to win friends and influence people, here's how it all came about. When the student's ready, the teacher will appear, right? So he suggested this book, but here's what he says: this is what I want you to do. I said, okay, I'm in. He said, I want you to just read 15 minutes a day, not 10, not 20, 15 minutes of this book every single day. If you will do that, I promise that your life will transform like you never would have imagined in 1 year. Well, it was 3 months and my life was already transforming. And then I became hungry for, Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and on and on and on. So I fed my mind and it inspired my goals and my dreams of where I wanted to go and what I needed to do to get there. But I also learned it wasn't just about me. Other people had to benefit along the way, or it wasn't going to be lasting.
Yeah, man. Goodness gracious. Absolutely. 100%. So we talked about, the whole reading aspect of it and all of that. So obviously we got to develop in that area, but let me ask you this. How important would you say training is, and what do you recommend people train on? To be successful in the automotive industry?
Well, just for example, okay, I've read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but this curriculum that Sean's going through is at another level that I didn't get reading the book. Training is important. It keeps your sword sharp. It's something you have to continually do. It's not for just a period in time. It has to be every single day. You have to be looking for new and innovative and cutting edge ways to go to the next level, if that's what you want. It depends on what your why is. But if you're in car sales, you want to make money, but you want to do things with that money, whatever that money is, and what you want your life to look like. So I don't care. It's training. I can't tell you. I'm still training. I'm training today every morning with you at 6 a.m. Central Time. So, I mean, yeah, it's always training. Sean's or y'all's dealer synergy. I mean, that's all about the road to the sale. It's all about the psyche, the synergies of what it takes to go to the next level and to remain there. You can't just take a course and then sit on your laurels and expect things to change. It is ongoing. It is perpetual. It is always a thing that we must do.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on that one. And listen, your company, FixedOPS Marketing, you guys really do some powerful things for dealerships to kind of take them to the next level. Can you break down some of that? I think you guys are working with some OEMs and stuff now.
Absolutely, yes. We just finished a deal with our first OEM. The company's not even 2 years old yet. With Volkswagen and Shift Digital, and working on another one right now. And they actually sought us out. We didn't actually go after them. Ford Direct as well, and of course they oversee and consult with 3,600 Ford stores. So it's very big. So but anyway, did that answer your question or?
Well, yeah. I want to know how what exactly FixedOPS does to take dealers to the next level.
All right. So let's right now, if you go to, I was running stores in 1996 when websites first came on the scene. I remember it very well. AOL dial-up modems, right? This is horrible. Now, obviously they've evolved over the years, and I left retail in 2000, but everybody remembers what happened in 2008 with that downturn, in the real estate market, the cars, everything. It just affected everybody. The only thing that actually made dealerships overcome that and not sink was their fixed operations, their absorption. That the money is made in fixed operations. It's not made on the variable side. People tend to think that's where the money's made, and it is not. So if you look at a website today, variable side has all the widgets, all the funnels to get customers to convert, call, because let's face it, most people are going to hit a website before they do anything. Right, LA?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most people are going to hit a dealership's website. The number 2 most visited content page on a dealer's website is the specials page. That's where all 4 of the dealership's profit centers are located: new, used, and parts and service.
Yep.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying, I was agreeing with you. Keep going.
So even back here's what hasn't changed. Today, if you go look at a dealer's website and you look at parts and service under specials or under parts and service, wherever they have parts and service, here's what you typically see: no specials, under construction, check back later. Right?
It's sad.
Right. Or it is. Or a static image that has no value. The customers don't engage with static images. Or you may have a handful of specials that you might be able to print or link you to a scheduled service page. So get this, LA. Almost 8 out of 10 people don't complete the service scheduling process online.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Did you know 40% of service calls go to voicemail or hang up?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
How many times does it take for your customers to connect with someone at your store?
The world may never know.
Unless you have CallSource customers connect with 96% of their clients' calls and convert over 85% of bookable calls to appointments. Really? If you're not performing at that level, or if you don't know, then text HELP to 855-963-2686 and receive a free evaluation of your store's performance.
Too many clicks. Okay. That's what I specialize in, is marketing and clicks. If you force a customer, think of yourself or anybody out there listening to this, because everybody's online. If you have to click more than 3 times to find anything you're looking for, exponentially, the exit rates go through the roof on that 4th click. You got to engage them by the 3rd click or they're out of there. And fixed operations has never done that. So we started with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey says, with that end. Everybody wants to watch video, right? Everybody's interested in video. So we solve, what can we do? What product can we create, FixedOPS Marketing, that solves a fundamental challenge that every dealership has, and they don't have time, LA. Everybody's too busy wearing multiple hats. They don't have time. They know that service, parts, and accessories and their presence on the website is important. So what we came up with, we developed just a phenomenal product that every single coupon has an embedded video that explains that particular service, and it's automated. So once it goes live, without getting into a lot of great detail, the dealership doesn't have to touch it. And it's aesthetically the most functional service, parts, and accessories that you've ever seen on any dealership's website, bar none. And There's 6 different ways for the customer inside the coupon to interact with that coupon, from the video to text to call to email to print to scheduling service directions. It's all automated and inside the coupon. And that is what FixedOPS Marketing has done. And we've just exploded.
Yeah, man, I can tell. That's exciting, man. Within 2 years, that is huge. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do all of that, man. I'm super duper proud. So if somebody wanted to kind of engage this whole, FixedOPS, the marketing, I want a coupon. How would they do that? Who should they contact, you, or how should that work?
Well, they contact me. It's Russell, 2 S's, 2 L's at FixedOPS Marketing. That's FixedOPS Marketing.com. Russell at FixedOPSMarketing.com, or call me on my cell. 903. Hold on. Let me say this. This is something I learned a long time ago. Hey, write down my name and number. Do you have a pen or pencil handy? I'll wait.
Yeah, no, I got one. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So 903 is my area code, 819-5253. Just give me a call.
Good stuff, right? Yeah. Yep. So and I've said stuff like this. So let you grab a pen and paper, right? I love that. But then the other cool thing is, like, when you give somebody your phone number, this is a phone thing, right? So I'll say my number's 267-290-8188, right? I'm like, oh, you know what? Can you read that back to me? I just want to make sure I give it to you correctly.
Yeah, exactly. No. And see, listen, I tell you, I learned that technique a long time ago selling cars. When you say, I'll just email you. What's your email number, or what's your email address, or what's your phone number? But I found is, if you pause after you say, do you have a pen or pencil handy? I'll wait and pause. You'd be surprised how many say, well, hold on just a sec. Let me grab it.
Yep. They sure,
because they didn't have it. Hell no.
100%, man. So this is good stuff. We are breaking it down for them. So, man, this is, again, really, really powerful stuff. Can you tell us, what is your favorite part? What do you really love about the automotive industry? You've been in it, you said, since 1985, man. Look, I was born in 81, right? I'm saying, okay. So you're doing a doggone thing, man. What is it that keeps you involved so much?
The culture, the passion, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the motivation to see people excel. If you think about it, what we do and what we create by selling cars, it's billions and billions of dollars. You think about it, for every average salary out there, say $35,000, let's say $50,000 a year. What people don't really realize is there are 11 jobs that are created from one $50,000 a year salary. And that's the kind of stuff that we do. We keep America moving. We keep America moving forward, because what we do and the money we make creates a lot of answers. I don't care if it's fast food. I don't care if it's dry cleaning, you name it. I mean, there's a ton of businesses that are created by people like us that make the money that we do. But just to suit up and show up and these people that sell cars disdain an hourly wage as an unnecessary limit on their ability to produce. It's amazing. I love it. It
is, man. And so this industry, man, I'm telling you, it's blessed me. I don't know how in the world a blind guy, right, can be successful in an industry other than, one that is accepting. Now, I know I'm going to be talking at NADA, about the power and the business benefits of hiring people with disabilities and or minorities. But I'm telling you, man, like, it's just such an accepting. My whole thing is, it's almost like, if you could sell cars, we like you here. You know what I'm saying? Don't really matter.
Absolutely. Oh, I found it, LA. You want me to read it to you?
Yeah, okay. Let's hear it.
The American automobile salesman is both hated and revered. He is the last of a rare breed, the ultimate maverick. He walks with confidence and takes offense at direction. He cannot be left on his own, yet his spirit will not be dominated. He is free enterprise personified. The American car salesman laughs in the face of affirmative action. He is one of the few workers who is paid exactly what he is or she is worth. While the average person views an hourly wage as security, he disdains it as an unnecessary limit on his ability to produce. He hears negative responses every day, but never learned the meaning of defeat. He believes free enterprise was created with him in mind. He has the instincts of a hunter coupled with a great compassion and kindness. He speaks eloquently and detects even the most innocent untruths from his clients. He would never bow his knee to any monarch, but he has the uncanny ability to treat his customers as royalty. He is uniquely talented, endowed with a savvy that cannot be taught in the classroom. His spirit is what America was built on. He is a loner who has difficulty walking in step with others, yet he gravitates towards those who are just like him. He is intensely competitive, nevertheless quick to give a helping hand to a struggling brother. He is the dealer's biggest liability, yet he is the same retailer's greatest asset. Some elements of society would like to eliminate him, but have found him to be indestructible. Without his personality, his smile, and his spirit, there would be a giant void in America today. Wow.
Man, I'm telling you, that was some phenomenal stuff. Man. We need to rewind that. And I'm gonna play it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I get goosebumps every time I read that.
Yeah, that is powerful. And we had to get you to send that to me. We're gonna drop that whole thing in the daggone show notes. You know what I'm saying?
I will do that. And we also are having what we call a big coming out party, because of course they really didn't have a NADA last year. And the year before, we had just rolled out our company in January of 2007. So, 2020. So we have a 20 by 20 booth out at NADA that we've already paid for. We're in the final stages of getting, picking out the booth, et cetera. And I look forward to actually meeting you in person, if not before, but at least at NADA. I think it's going to be the largest NADA in history, just because everybody's been pent up and they haven't been able to get together. And I mean, this is just like Sean and you said, this is the show of all shows. This is the event of the year.
Absolutely. I might say Internet Sales 20 Group. No. No. See, the cool thing, what I love about NADA is you're absolutely right. It's huge. You know what I'm saying? So everybody gets together. It's literally the Super Bowl. Now, the cool thing about Internet Sales 20 Group is it's a real intimate type of environment. But I mean, the instructional design is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I mean, they're both phenomenal events. But I'll be speaking at both. So hey, listen, show up. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to the podcast, make sure you're at Internet Sales 20 Group in January 11th through the 13th. But man, you want to be in NADA in Vegas March 10th through the 13th, right? We're gonna be
it is. Yeah, it's gonna be a blowout, LA, and I'm so excited and happy and privileged to not only know you, because you are just a talented force, but to be speaking at NADA. I mean, that's some Mac Daddy stuff, man. And kudos to you.
Man, I appreciate it big time. All right. So listen, I know we've been spending time here. We've been kind of breaking things down for the audience and everything like that. I just want you to give folks a closing statement and of how, if they want to, last as long as you've lasted in the automotive industry, how they should be thinking. One of the things that I have on my mind is your concept about trees and everything. So you can say what you want to say, but I want you to implement that in some way, shape, or form. That'd be awesome.
So, I mean, life for me, and I believe for all of us, begins at the edge of our comfort zone. Okay. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. You're backing up. Actually, it's like walking up a down elevator. Okay. When you stop, you start going backwards. Right. And you need to really protect yourself. You talk about the tree thing, right? If the branches are bare, au contraire, don't go there. So if you're engaging with people that don't have something to offer you that's going to help take you from where you're at to the next level, you're associating with the wrong people. And then on top of that, it's very important. I wasn't saying that just to say what I did earlier about who you associate with, what you read and what you listen to. Albert Einstein summed it up best. He said, the significant problems and challenges that we face today cannot be solved at the same level of thinking used to create them. Let that sink in. You can't go where you want to go, remain where you're at. That's the good news and the bad news. You have to do something. You got to start. You can't wait for the right education, for the perfect opportunity, for the weather to be this way, for you to have this level of training, for you to read this many books. You're going to be regret looking over your shoulder. You just need to get started. Nobody, LA, goes from here to there without at least beginning. And everybody started in the same place. All of you out there listening to this, If you want to make this your career, not just a job, you want to make it a career, and you want to make a profound difference, not only in your life, but in your family's life and other people's lives around you, get started today.
Man, I'm telling you, you really like just rock that doggone thing, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of stuff that you get. See, what would it be like? Listen, I know you guys get to hang out with him in the the Facebook group, but come on, man, that's posts and stuff, right? That might be a couple videos or something, but to be able to have conversation. Listen, Russell is in the morning motivation, inspiration, and conversation room with a real multimillionaire. Information like this, man, rubs off. And listen, you know how I always end every podcast. I always say it. I say, listen, you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. And you've just been spending time with Mr. Russell Hill and Mr. L.A. Williams. Man, I'm telling y'all, go out there and be a millionaire car salesman, everybody. Thanks for listening. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is sponsored in part by AutoWeb and Call Review.